in that sense. So it's very important to focus on using money as security rather than using everything you have in terms of money to try to build, because inevitably in life we don't always, life's not a straight road, we don't always step up from step to step, sometimes we go back down a little bit, and money is the comfort in difficult times. When you lose your job and you know that in the bank you've got 3 months money for rent and food, then you're not worried. You're not going to have a really hard time at the beginning. You're not going to turn to alcohol or drugs or whatever, because you've got that security and that time to think about everything. And as always, I wish that someone had sat me down when I was 15 years old or even younger and said, hey, this is it. This is how it works. This is what you do. And as long as you do this in this way, you'll be okay. And people will come to you because you are always going to be okay. People are going to look to you.
Yeah, but you realize this.
I realized this when I was 40.
By your own way. Yeah, but now it's more strong for you, and does it mean the real meaning? Maybe in your 25 you should smiling and you didn't understand what about they said.
Yes, that's a very profound statement, because you're absolutely right. The challenges in life come when we need them. The challenge, and this is really, really hard for most people to understand, because challenges mean that things are difficult, and nobody really wants things to be more difficult than they already are. But the challenges come when we need them. You know, the same way that the sickness comes when the body needs to get something, some bacteria, some virus out of the body. So so most people don't understand that challenges and problems are a result of the choices that we have made, thinking that we're trying to do things better or make things easier, but living in the place where we all live, which is in between certainty and uncertainty.
What is it?
Certainty. Istotu. Istotu is certainty. Yeah. So.
Certainty.
So we all live in between certainty and uncertainty, and what this means is that it's the classic example of some things will happen that we know about, and some things will happen that we don't know about. What we know about, that's the certainty. That you will wake up tomorrow and have the same job that you have today. And then there's the uncertainty, which is you don't know exactly when you will have certain meetings with certain people and what the results of those meetings will be. And that's called the challenge of life. Dealing with those two things. Too much certainty and we get bored. There's no variety, and too much uncertainty, and there's no structure. So we always require this delicate balance between
Mm-hmm.
both of these things. If we're in a situation where we're completely uncertain, we feel totally powerless, and we uh, we often feel nervous, lose control, often angry that we can't change things.
Mm-hmm.
And if we live in a situation of total certainty, we start to feel that there's nothing interesting there for us, and we become disinterested in what we're doing. Um, that's one of the reasons why I left Britain, because I was living a life of complete certainty. I knew absolutely everything that was going to happen. And I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this was why I was leaving London. I just knew that something was wrong and I had to do something. That's all I knew. And so I did what I thought was the right thing. Now later on, when I look back on it, I reflect that
Mm-hmm.
that I knew everything that was going to happen. I was living in a world of almost absolute certainty about everything, and it was just not interesting. There was just not enough um, that was interesting for a young person in their mid-20s there. That
How
kind
could
of,
it be when London has millions people and Banska Bystrica 1,000, um, I don't know how much.
I don't know, 60,000 maybe?
Six, yeah.
Okay, so London has between 12 and 15 million people. And
Mm.
and beautiful Banska Bystrica has around 60,000. Um,
So when you
it,
compare these two cities, the life there has to be more exciting and more interesting for everyone.
yeah, it's not about the number of people. It's about the lifestyle and the culture.
Mm.
So in London, I very much felt that everything was all neatly organized. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Like if you're 40, you want things to be neatly organized. When you're 25 and want some adventure in your life, you don't, you know, you don't feel comfortable in living that way. Or different people feel comfortable at different times with different things. You know, some people get married at the age of 20 and it's great and they're happy and it
Mm.
works for them. Some people just don't want to get married at the age of 20 and so they take a different path in their life. And so um, for me, I was looking for more uncertainty in my life. I was looking
Okay.
for more of this the unknown things,
Mm-hmm.
the the a little bit of adventure, but not too much. Right? I wasn't. It's not, you can. There's a line. I don't know where the line is, but there's a line where things become too much. So. Uh, um, so that was my experience with understanding certainty and uncertainty.
And this
Uh,
was the same reason why I live from Bystrica to Prague.
yeah, we all need some kind of change or conflict to help us grow.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest way to force ourselves to grow is to change our environment.
Mm.
Three things you can change, always the same three things. Only three things you can change: time, place, and people.
Yeah.
Changing the time is extremely complicated because you can't speed up or slow down the process of time. It happens eventually. Um, and people, Um, you can change your groups of friends, but if you're still in the same place, you'll probably still meet similar people. So the easiest way to solve the problem is to change the place. Change the place, and the people automatically change, and probably something connected with time will change as
Mhm.
as well. So people do it all the time.
Mhm.
You talked about your friends going to Australia, yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
before. So that's one example of that. Uh, my father moved from New Zealand to Scotland. So
Mhm.
that's another example of that. So
Mhm.
every day there are hundreds of thousands of planes going from somewhere to somewhere else and taking people to start new lives or have new experiences.
Mhm. So your core of your family is um, in New Zealand.
My father's family are in New Zealand and Australia,
Mhm.
and I think that originally they were Irish if you go back 200, 250 years.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't really know what all that means
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
um,
Do you think that this could be why you want to go there? That something in your mind say you should go back?
the magical attraction of my lost history is an invisible force that is pulling me and calling my name. Um, it's possible. Because everything is possible.
Mm.
Um, I always think it's a really good question to to ask if you are going to something or if you're going away from something.
Mhm.
And I think, be- and this is only because of my own experiences of this. I think that most people are not going to something.
Mhm.
Most people are going away from something.
Mhm.
That the
Yeah.
force for change is not something that pulls you, but it's something that pushes you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I th- I think part of this is because if you're happy with something, you don't change it or you don't
Mhm.
do very much with it. Um, if you're happy with life and it works and you
Mhm.
have what you need and you like your job, there's no reason to change any of those things.
Exactly.
So you tend then to stay in the same place, the place
Mhm.
that makes you happy. But if you don't feel completely comfortable in that place, then you're not really going to somewhere else. You're
Mhm.
going away from where you are. And it doesn't really matter where you go because you're going, as long as you go away from where you are, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's the next town, the next village, the next city, the next country,
Mhm.
whatever, as long as you change that the the place where you are or the place where you call home or the place where you live.
Mhm.
Um, so that's an interesting psychological driver and force within human nature. Think about it in terms of human relationships
Mhm.
for a lot of people, not for everybody, but there's a lot of truth that people are, is someone coming towards you or are they going away from someone else?
Yes,
That a lot of people want to escape, right? Which is,
it's easier.
yeah, yeah, it's all elements of the escapism, which is the people trying to get out of prison or to change where they are, and We just took a little tour there. Okay. So, yeah, yeah, in my experience, I always try to ask myself, am I going to that place or am I going away from where I am? And a lot of people are running away from where they are in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of what they do. And part of this is natural because if you're not happy where you are, you have to go somewhere. Exactly where is the right place? It's really difficult to answer that question um, because I think that nobody really knows because of the uncertainty and the certainty principles. The
Mm-hmm.
place where you are is so full of certainty that you can't look at it because you know exactly what it is and you're tired of it. And and so it doesn't matter where you go as long as there's an element of uncertainty there. As long as you're going to have a new job or meet new people or learn a new language
Mm-hmm.
or develop some new skills or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that which which we we make it positive because that's what we try to do as human beings. We in general we try to make the best out of everything that we have. And
Mm-hmm.
when we all do the best that we can, it just that means different things to different people. Um, and some people's skills and knowledge and experience and wisdom and understanding is at different levels from other people's.
And do you feel certainty now in your life?
Let me think about that for 5 seconds. Think about that one. Um, the there's there's a non-answer to that question, which is it's the old philosophy of all I know is that I don't know, um,
Mm.
which is not helpful. Um, it's really not helpful. Um, but that is very close to how I feel
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I need to take everything and turn it upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I need to take everything and change it all.
Mm-hmm.
Change it all. And there's no guarantee that that's going to make me feel any better because most people change the world because it's easier than changing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now you can change the world just through being yourself. Um, Most people don't go down that road because it means making other people unhappy. Because you do what you want to do and you don't really care very much about, well, you do care what other people think, but you're not going to live your life by their rules. You're going to live your life by your rules. And that's perfectly okay. Um, so mm, maybe I'm the kind of person who's never satisfied. Um,
I think so.
so the this I think creative people are very often unsatisfied. And
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I've got the image of Nikola Tesla. Just invention, 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 creation, create, 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 create. You know, every day making something new which is going to change the history of the world. And he did that for 50 years, every day for 50 years. It's just produce, produce, produce. And um, what was the reason for that? Who knows?